the amount of times I have tried to vlog this month and then just failed miserably. Hey everyone, my name is Chloe, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here today. I am going to attempt to vlog this week. I have tried to vlog every week so far this month and we are now starting week 3 and you have not seen a vlog from me since July. But I have been reading. I'm not going to go too much into depth of what I've been reading because actually I do quite like the idea of there being a surprise to what I've read and what I've liked on my wrap up. I mean, it's not really that much of a surprise. I've read things that are on my TBR so far, but I have actually had a fairly decent reading month so far, which is part of the reason why I've not really been pushing myself to vlog, because to be honest I was reading instead, which is great because it's still better than the slumping I was doing previously. So yeah, not been sort of getting down on myself too much about not picking up the camera because at least I'm picking up a book. But I will give you an update on what I am in the middle of sort of so far at the start of this vlog at least, and that is The Box and the Buds by Maureen Johnson. So I have 50 pages left of this one, I believe. I have read about 50 pages so far this morning, but then I had to film some things so that there are other videos going up for you guys to watch. And now that is done, I have literally just finished. I need to tidy up. I'm surrounded by books as per usual at the minute, but then I will be getting back to reading this. I've been sort of switching it up between the audiobook and reading it physically, but I might try and read the last 50 pages physically. I am actually enjoying this a lot more than I thought I would. I mentioned in my TBR that I wasn't sure if this book was particularly necessary. So for anyone who doesn't know, this is the 4th book in the Truly Devious series, although technically it is also the sort of first book of a separate thing within that world. The Truly Devious was a trilogy, which was one mystery. Essentially the main character is a girl called Stevie who goes to an elite boarding school where there isn't actually like a regular curriculum. You go there if you have a sort of passion project, and that's how you interview to get in, is you have to talk about what it is that you're very deeply passionate about, and that's kind of what you learn about. And she is a sort of amateur sleuth. She is wanting to be a detective, and there was many years ago a unsolved murder on the campus of the boarding school, and she gets in the hopes that she will help to solve that murder. And the first trilogy is all about that case and sort of that also reappearing in the modern day storyline as well. It was a good trilogy. I do think it dragged on a little bit too long. The mystery of it could have probably been done in a duology instead of a trilogy. By the time it got to the 3rd one, I was a little bit bored, but I needed to know how it tied up. This one is still following Stevie, it's still following her friends, but they've been invited to be camp counsellors at a kids' summer camp where there was a murder many years ago. It's sort of off of the back of the publicity from the Ellingham murders being solved. She is asked to come and help with, there's a guy who is starting a podcast about these murders and he wants her to come and be involved in that. And I believe this one is a standalone because it does seem like we're going to find out who the killer is soon. I'm actually literally at that scene where sort of they sit people down and go, I found out it was this person because of this. What I will say about this book so far is that it doesn't feel like Stevie has actually done a lot of detective work. It's only about 380 pages long, but it was about 200 pages before she actually really went looking for a clue. Before that, it was just a lot of setup, and I'm fine with it in a way because I do appreciate the characters in this as well, so I'm liking some of the character interactions instead, but the actual mystery part isn't really grabbing me. I don't know if this is going to be if there's going to be more books in this series, but I think if there are, I will probably still read them, but I would like to see the mysteries being a little bit more captivating, I suppose is the word. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Maybe it would work better if you had sort of every 2 books being a different story, because then you get a little bit more time to flesh it out, but not so long that it overdrags like the original trilogy did. But once I have finished this one today, I do have other plans, and that is to start I Wish You All the Best by Mason Deaver. So I was actually going to start this one earlier on in the week. I was going to start this one instead of this one, but then I wanted to listen to an audiobook, and I knew I was going to listen to that one on audiobook because I'd done that with the first 3. So I ended up not picking this one up, but now that has made me even more desperate to pick it up because it's been sort of like there waiting for me all week. This should be a fairly easy read. It's just over 300 pages long. It's YA contemporary. It's about a non-binary teen who is kicked out of their house because they come out, essentially, and they want to kind of get through senior year at high school and then move on to college, and just basically just to survive senior year. They're not planning on coming out of school, anything like that, but then they meet a boy, and I believe it is a bit of a romance, which sounds great. So hopefully I will really enjoy this one. I want it to be a little bit of a palate cleanser, because if anybody saw my TBR for this month, you'll know that there are quite a few fantasies on there. And like I said, I'm not going to go too much into what I've read so far and whether or not I liked or disliked what I did read, but of these sort of 3 fantasy series that I need to start, I have read 2 of them now. I have 1 more left that I'm planning to sort of end the month out with, and this is my little bit of a palate cleanser before I move into that one, because I read the 2 other fantasies sort of back to back, so these are my little bit calmer ones, and then we're going to go into one that's a little bit more intimidating. You might actually see what that is, and I'm saying I'm not going to spoil you for what I've already read, but if I end up starting that one before the end of the week, which I really do hope I do, then you'll know exactly which ones I've already read, but I can still keep it a mystery as to whether or not I like them. I finished Box in the Woods. There's not really much to say that I didn't say earlier. I'm giving it like a 3.5 to 4 stars. It was good. I did enjoy it. It wasn't sort of the unnecessary sequel that I thought it was going to be. It was nice to sort of just be back in this world with these characters. It was lower stakes, I would say, than the previous trilogy was, because it never really felt like there was any sort of jeopardy for the main characters. The actual investigation side was a little bit like, I actually found the crime to be quite interesting, but I found that the investigation into it wasn't. Like, there wasn't really much investigation. It was more, there was one sort of piece of evidence that then got laid out to everyone right at the end, and that was like a whole chapter of just like breaking that down, but there was no real like depth into them actually looking for that or looking into that more. Like, there wasn't really many clues in it, which I would have liked from a sort of mystery novel. But no, I did enjoy it. I do like these characters, so if there is another one in the series, I probably will read it, which is nice. I'm glad that it's, I did say in my TBR that if I didn't like this, I would just sort of pretend it didn't exist and just have the trilogy as a complete thing on its own. So it's nice that I don't have to do that. It will be going back on my shelf with the rest of them. And yeah, I'm going to go and start reading I Wish You All the Best. I haven't got that one to hold up here. I've left it downstairs. But I'm going to go and start reading that one now. Hopefully get a decent chunk of that read today. And then back to work. It's a Sunday. I don't know if I actually mentioned that. It is Sunday at the minute, so I'm back to work tomorrow. So hoping to read a fair amount of that today, and then sort of see how I go reading that for the rest of the week. Right, I might give you an update later on my initial thoughts of I Wish You All the Best, but I'm not guaranteeing anything because we know what I'm like when I start vlogging. Just thought I would actually give you an update on this one while the thoughts were fresh in my mind. This is going to be a really awful update, but I've just realised that it is now Wednesday and I have not updated since Sunday, because that is the general theme of my vlogs. Yes, it is Wednesday evening. I am currently laid in bed with some really awful lighting, but I am still reading I Wish You All the Best by Mason Deaver. I'm up to page 116. I have not managed to read too much of this during the weekdays, hence why I'm a little bit behind. I was hoping to have finished this by now, but I'm going to try and read fair amount tonight, although I have just been asleep, so I mean, there's a chance I'll fall back asleep. There's a chance that nap will mean that I don't sleep for the rest of the night. We'll see. It is only 9:20, so just going to try and read at least a bit of this before I go properly to sleep tonight. I am enjoying it so far, although I wish that it would sort of, don't know, get into it a little bit quicker. Like, I feel like the cover and the description makes me think it's very much about the relationship between these two central characters, and it just feels like it's taking a while for that to actually start developing. But I think I am right at that point now, so I'm gonna get back to it. long time, no update as per usual, but it is now Friday evening, finished work for the week, and I've also finished a book. I finished I Wish You All the Best last night. I was on sprints with Becca and Liv, and I managed to read like the last 150 pages of this, and yeah, it was enjoyable. It was a like high 3-star, low 4-star type rating. I think it came out as 4-star on Corpile, but it's very much in that region. It was good. I like the conversations that were had in here. I do wish that it had actually been a little bit longer. It was nice and short, but I just feel like some of the story points were just starting as it finished, and I wanted to go a little bit more into those because like sort of like the happy parts of it were just set up at the end, and I would have liked to have just seen this character be able to exist and be happy for a little while, because it was fairly depressing throughout the lot of it. There was a lot of issues to deal with, a lot of trauma to process, and it would have just been nice to see a bit more of the happiness. That's probably my main critique of it, but I did enjoy it. I'm glad I read it. I'll probably read more by this author in the future. I am finally watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I put off watching this one because I wasn't that interested in it, but I really want to watch Loki, which came out afterwards, and I like to watch them in release order even if they don't actually connect. I mean, they're all in the same universe obviously, but the stories don't follow on from each other because these are two separate storylines. But I would like to watch them in release order, so I'd like to watch this first before I move on to Loki. And yeah, I'm finally going to get around to watching this. I've got a video to edit, so I'm going to have this on in the background while I edit the video, and then I will hopefully pick up a book tonight. And I am starting the last book on my TBR, which is this one, which slightly terrifies me just because, I mean, I don't really know what it's about, but I don't know if it's my sort of thing. The footnotes look fun, to say the least, and yeah, whenever anyone describes it, they're just like, it's great, it's different, it's great, and I'm just like, okay, I have no idea what to expect, but I'm hoping I love it because I do have Empire the Vampire pre-ordered, and also I have liked other books by this author. They were very different from this, and I feel like this is more on the lines of Empire the Vampire, so I hope I like this so that I've not wasted money on 2 copies of that one. Although the thing to say about that is that the 2 copies that I've got are special editions, and special editions of that book are highly sought after, so I'm pretty sure I could sell it on afterwards if I didn't like it. But I'm hoping I do. I'm hoping I like this one. I'm hoping I like Empire the Vampire. We'll see. I'm actually having a pretty good reading month so far in terms of star ratings, so hopefully that carries on. I have heard people say that if I like this one, I will want to pick up the second and the third book immediately afterwards, which is part of the reason why I kept this one to last on my TBR, because I say it's last actually. I do still have a mood read to read, so I need to read at least one more book after this month. So I'm hoping this one, and then if I like it, I will probably end up buying the other 2, which the names are completely escaping me. One, Dark Dawn and God's Grave, is that what it is? It doesn't actually tell you in here, but those 2, I think that's the names. I can't remember which way around they are. I am rambling as per usual. I'm going to go and edit and then read, hopefully. Hello, I am back in my usual catch-up place. I have, well actually let's tell you what day it is. It is Saturday evening now. I have had a lovely day out. I went to the theatre yet again. I actually went to my local theatre this time, so no travelling to a different city. But yeah, Sheffield theatres are now back open, so I got to go there, go to the Lyceum and see Hairspray, which is a fun show. I've seen it before. Years ago when it was on the West End with Michael Ball in it the first time he was in it, and it was nice to be able to see it again. I love that show, but I particularly also love the film adaptation of it, so now I want to go and watch that, which may happen tomorrow, although I am very invested in Falcon and the Winter Soldier now. I actually didn't read at all last night because I watched Falcon and Winter Soldier and then fell asleep, and then I watched more episodes of that this morning, and I think I have 2 episodes left to watch now. So part of me just wants to watch those tonight. The other part of me actually does want to start reading Nevernight. But yeah, it's just been, like I said, a nice day. I did film a few clips. I forgot to really film anything at the theatre or anything like that, but we went for cocktails first and then we went for food, and now I am back home watching some sprints with Jade from JD Reads. She's doing Patreon sprints, which are nice and chill, which is good. Sort of the mood I need right now. And yes, I'm going to be on these. We just started an hour sprint, so I'm going to decide what to do. I don't know whether to start listening to the audiobook for this, actually. The thing is with audiobooks, I normally listen to audiobooks sped up because I speak fast, so I kind of need the people to be my speed. But I think I might need to listen to someone a little bit slower just to get into it at first. So I might start putting that on while I sort of get ready for bed and things like that. I also need to, I'm filming my TBR tomorrow, and basically my TBR needs to fit in TBR MASH as usual, but then it also needs to fit in Becca's Bookopoly and also G's Magical Readathon. I've been trying to figure out the best way to do it. Because the Magical Readathon has 7 set prompts and I know what they are, I think what I'm going to do is make a little bit of a like suggestions list for those. So not a set in stone, I'm doing this one for each prompt, but probably like 3 or 4 options for each one, just to have ideas. But then the way that I'm actually going to pick my books is I'm going to do TBR MASH, get whatever prompts come up on there, try and pick books. When I pick the books for those prompts, try and pick ones from that list that I have for Magical Readathon. And then when I do the Bookopoly roles, I'm going to see if basically those roles and the prompts that I get in those roles will fit with the books that I've already picked for TBR MASH that should already line up with Magical Readathon. I'm sure there will be some extras. I'm sure I'll end up with more on my TBR than normal, as I'm filming that tomorrow. I need to make sure I am all prepared for it. Obviously I have the cards and things for TBR MASH, but I need to print out some more stuff for Bookopoly. I have the board. Becca sent it out early to people who are on her Patreon, so I've had that for a few days, but I didn't get the cards, like for the chance and community chess cards, until the video was released on Thursday, I think it was, and I haven't had a chance to print those yet, so I need to do that now and get those all prepped. And then I also just want to print out like the guides and stuff for Magical Readathon, because that one's, the prompts are easy, but the readathon actually seems more complicated with all like the characters and stuff, and I've never participated in it before, so I have no idea what I'm doing. But yeah, that is a plan. Audiobook and Nevernight whilst sort of printing things out and also just getting in bed and getting comfy. But I might not read a lot of this tonight, but I'm hoping to make decent progress on it tomorrow. Sunday morning. I have just done my makeup, ready to film my TBR for next month, but I thought I'd give you a quick reading update first. I have started Nevernight. I am actually about 100 pages in. I'm up to chapter 8 and I'm very intrigued so far. It kind of does just throw you right in with it, so I'm still not entirely sure what the actual like plot line of this is. From what I can gather, the main character is Mia and she's trying to get to something which is called the Red Church. There's some trauma in her past to do with her father, and it seems like she's trying to sort of avenge his death, I believe. But yeah, I don't really know too much about what the actual main premise of this is after. I have finally read the summary on the back of this now, and it does say that she's trying to sort of seek training from some infamous assassins so that she can get her revenge that she's wanting. So yeah, I believe it's going to go into like a training type book, which I do very much enjoy, that sort of setting. So I am actually, yeah, quite enjoying this so far, because I'm not entirely sure what is happening in a way. not like it's easy to follow along, but it's just like I said, because it throws you right in. The world building is done slowly throughout it, so I'm still getting a grasp on the world at the minute, but what I am sort of reading I am very much enjoying. So I will hopefully read a bit more of this today. I've been listening to the audiobook actually so far because I've just had things to do, so I thought it was good to put the audiobook on in the background, and I'm hoping to actually sort of physically read it a little bit more today as well. But first I need to go and film my TBR for the month. I've got everything ready. I've printed out all my Bookopoly boards and all of that. I made a sort of tentative list of books that I would like to read in September, because there's actually quite a lot of books that I just want to read anyway. So I'm going to try and squeeze those onto the TBR in whatever way possible. September is going to be a fun reading month, I would say. Fun as in, like, there's some books I'm really excited for, but also I feel like I am pushing myself a little bit in how much I'm wanting to read. It's a lot of fantasy, which is great because I'm in a massive fantasy mood at the minute, so I'm happy about that, but also slightly terrified that I'm not going to be able to do it. So I'm gonna go and get changed. I'm still sat in my pajamas at the minute. I'm going to go and put some clothes on, do my hair, and then set up the board for TBR mash, because where I normally pin it on the front of my wardrobe is full of clothes at the minute, so I should probably tidy up a little bit first. So filming TBR took a lot longer than I planned, so I have not read anything to update you on, but I think I'm going to wrap this video up anyway, because I started editing this vlog actually and realised that yeah, I have enough footage on there, and I am going to read some more of Nevernight tonight, but I don't think I'm going to get it finished. So what I'll do is I'll wrap this vlog up here, and I'll start next week where I'll give you my full thoughts on this one. But this week I managed to finish Box in the Woods. I gave it 4 stars. Finished Wish You All the Best, also gave that one 4 stars-ish, and then read the first 100 pages of Nevernight, and so far I'm really enjoying this one. This is my favourite read of the week so far, I would say. I am looking forward to carrying on with this. I'm kind of already thinking that I might just carry on with the series straight through, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to want to continue with it, so I might need to acquire the second and third ones shortly. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the week. I did, like I said, my TBR for the month earlier, so you can see that coming. It should be the next video after this one actually, so you can see that it was stressful, definitely. Not so much in the prompts that were coming up, but just in trying to fit like my TBR game and then 2 readathons, one of which was a TBR game as well. Trying to fit it all together was the stressful part. I had ended up having to do Bookopoly quite a few times because there was issues with, I was losing track of counting things, there was filming issues. I was just like, right, I'm just going to start from scratch again, which actually ended up in my favour. I got some fairly decent rolls on there, but yeah, tune in for the next video to see that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff down below. Let me know how your readings got in August and how you're feeling sort of heading into the last week. I'm quite happy that I'm mostly done with my TBR. It's a lot better than last month where I was struggling to do it in the last couple of days. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.